Omar in Herndon, Virginia. Hey, Omar, what's on your mind today?
Tom, thanks so much for taking my call. Tom, I didn't know that you inhaled.
Did I inhale? Yes, I did. I'd be the first to tell you. I did a lot of things that 17-year-olds shouldn't do. And, c'est la vie.
Yeah, I think everything that you're doing right now, all the calls that you're doing, kind of erase everything. It wipes everything, every bad thing that you did. So
okay. Well, thank you, Omar. I'm redeemed. So what's on your mind today?
I read in the Le Monde, there's a French magazine over the weekend, that they interview an icebreaker captain, and he said that there's a new route that's being created that connects the Atlantic to the Pacific.
Right, through the Arctic.
Arctic, yeah. He said that 10 years ago, no way you could have passed through it. And then he just recently took a trip, and he said that he just went through so easily that he doesn't have to do anything to break the ice. Everything was just melting.
That's right. There was a cruise ship that went through there 2 months ago.
Exactly. And
with passengers.
Yeah, it's very concerning.
Yeah.
And he said that 10 years ago or 5 years ago, you couldn't do that.
That's right.
And recently, the National Oceanic told us that 2016 was the hottest year, right?
Yeah.
Recently. It came out. And then in a couple of years ago, they told us that 2013 was the hottest year.
Right, so and then 29 was the hottest year, and it's and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, we are at levels of CO2 in the atmosphere that are typically associated with the atmosphere being at least 5 degrees Celsius warmer than it is right now, or at least 3 degrees Celsius warmer than it is right now. And pretty soon we'll be in the range of 5 degrees, and that's the point at which you start looking at major extinction events. And even at 3 degrees, you're looking at major disruptions of world economies. The ability of people to live, war, famine, all the stuff that is supposed to follow a solar eclipse, I guess, Omar.
Yeah, I mean, we have signs everywhere. I mean, recently I had another article that there's an island in the Pacific that the ocean has been rising. I mean, it's just been rising and rising, and it's very concerning. I mean, there's an old expression where I came from that if you take a cup and you have a dropping, drip, drip, one day that cup is going to get full,
Yeah.
So it's just really concerning. I think we need to really act quickly and figure out what we need to do, because pulling out of the climate change of Paris and until you figure out what to do, we don't have enough time. And all these are signs that the climate is really a real issue. People need to start paying attention to it.
Yeah. By the way, Omar, if you're into this, the end of ice, there's a great website. It's called arctic-news.blogspot.com. And it is, they've got just some amazing information about the loss of ice in the Arctic. And Professor Peter Wadhams, who I interviewed for this, for a movie that we're doing right now, I interviewed him in San Diego about a month ago, a few weeks ago anyway. He's going to be coming through Washington, D.C. sometime next month, and he's going to drop in here and talk to us. He's got a new book out called Farewell to Ice, and, pun on Hemingway's Farewell to Arms, I'm guessing. And it's really shocking, what's happening. The polar Arctic is, the North Arctic is it's the weather regulator for the Northern Hemisphere. It's essentially the refrigerator. I mean, so this is a big deal. It really is. Omar, thanks for the call. It's great to hear from you. And we'll be right back. Stick with it.
Well, I'd like to talk about the lack of Arctic sea ice coverage and the current temperatures at climatereanalyzer.org. If you put it on today's date, today's climate, and you slip over to maximum temperature, you'll see very little of the Arctic Sea coverage is in a freezing mode. It is above freezing.
Right.
And we still have a month to go. I'd really love to have you invite Paul Beckwith from Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, I know you deal with Peter Wadhams a lot.
Yeah, Peter's going to be in studio next month.
Yes, thank you for your courage to speak out on these issues. He, last week, via email, Professor Wadhams clued me into the fact that it isn't the methane out of the shallow seas that is going to get us. It'll be the surface methane. And I concur this. I'm from Alaska. I've been watching this.
Out of the permafrost.
Yeah, out of the permafrost on the land. That's right. Because, you see, when, like in a test tube or a Petri dish, a quarter of a degree can make all the difference in the world. Mm-hmm. And this is so with what's going to happen with the escalation of methane hydrates from the surface. What we're seeing in the oceans around the world is kind of under control. There's pressure from the ocean. It's going to happen slower. It's more methodical. It's quieter. It's unseen. But if you go in Alaska anywhere above the Arctic Circle now and you punch a hole into the tundra, you can light that. You can light that.
No, I know. There's mind-boggling amounts of methane. Jean-Michel, well said. And let me encourage people to check out your site and the site that you're mentioning, and also arctic-news.blogspot.com.